Greetings, everyone. I'm Scott Butcher, and today I'm talking about the bane of the AEC industry, lame project descriptions, and how to easily evolve them into interesting, story-driven case studies. The exact same project description has been written millions of times by architecture, engineering, construction, and environmental firms. Sure, the names change, the numbers change, the project delivery approach changes, but the descriptions are essentially the same, over and over and over again. How does that differentiate our firms from one another? See if this sounds familiar. Acme Structures provided full-service design for a new 25,000 square foot two-story office building for Coyote Development. Located on a 3-acre site, the building is LEED Silver certified and divided into 4 tenant spaces plus common areas. Acme provided programming, architecture, interior design, structural engineering, MEP engineering, and construction administrative services. The facility was designed using building information modeling and completed on schedule and within budget. Wow, that, my friends, was painful. Why in the world would anyone care about that project? What does that description really tell you? It tells you nothing, absolutely nothing. Imagine being a client or a prospect reading that. And what if you've given them multiple project descriptions? With the exception of the basic facts, nothing ever changes. And now imagine that they are receiving information from multiple companies. How many times can they read the same damn thing before their heads explode? Look, it doesn't matter if you're a design firm, environmental firm, or construction firm. That just means the services listed are different. But is anything else? These descriptions can just as easily be verbal instead of written. How many times have business developers and seller-doers opened their mouths to talk about a project and let loose a stream of verbal vomit, data dumps of project statistics? But let's not blame our firm's marketers and business developers, okay? They can only write or talk about what they've been given. And what are they typically given? Client name, services provided, project size. The era of project facts is over. May it rest in peace. The era of stories is upon us. Let's embrace it. But how do we do that? When I deliver soft skills training, I teach storytelling by sharing proven formulas. There are a lot out there, but they are all very similar. They are techniques used by storytellers for hundreds of years. At their core, they entail just 3 things: characters, conflict, resolution. These are the story building blocks. It might be easy to think the end results will be too rigid if we use formulas, but that doesn't need to be the case, because the formulas are simply the foundations and the directions. Filling in the blanks is what makes each and every story unique and compelling, or boring and crappy. So here's a simple case study formula. Take a project description and run it through this formula. Guess what? There will probably be a lot of holes. This is why you need to involve your firm's subject matter experts. Every project description should have their involvement. These are your project managers, your lead designers, your site superintendents, the real doers on a project. They know the stories. To evolve your project descriptions into a case study, start with the background. Who is the client? What can you share about them? By providing a little bit of background, you're creating the setting and making it relatable to your audience. For a novel, movie, or even TV show to succeed, we must care about the main characters. Your case study should be no different. Next, review the primary challenges that the client was facing. What was driving the need for the project? Why was it important to the client? Maybe a college was facing declining enrollment, a hospital dealing with antiquated systems, or a corporation undergoing rapid growth or geographic expansion. Without this challenge, there's no need for a project. So define it. In terms of story building blocks, we've introduced the characters by providing the background, and we've incorporated conflict, which are the challenges. Next, we should discuss options considered. And these options may be options the client considered before your firm was ever hired, or options that you developed with the client. Many case studies will have both. Renovate an existing building or construct new. Acquire adjacent properties for expansion or totally relocate. Incorporate sustainable features or go for new green building certification. Use mechanical system A or mechanical system B. There are alternative solutions for every project, no matter how large or how small, no matter which services are provided. Share the ones that are the most important and relevant to your audience. This brings us to the solution. We've set the stage and introduced the characters. We've addressed the challenges and conflict. We've reviewed options considered. Now we've selected the best option to address project goals, the solution. What does that look like? Yes, we may incorporate a few data points here, like a new 80,000 square foot LEED Platinum classroom building. But the solution is far broader than just the facts. How did the solution address the challenges? Why was it the best option compared to the others? How did it fulfill the needs of the end users, our characters? But we're not finished yet. The solution is only part of the resolution. The other part is the proof. We may claim that our characters lived happily ever after, but who's going to buy that line? So prove it. Maybe we can prove it with hard data, although that is often difficult to come by. If you renovated a retail space, did sales improve after the project? If you built a manufacturing plant, did productivity and output increase? If you expanded a college, did enrollment go up? Understand these numbers are not about you, they're about your client. You aren't the hero, your client is. Otherwise, incorporate the advice of presentation coach Nancy Duarte. She tells her speakers to think of their role as that of Yoda, with the role of the audience as Luke Skywalker. So carry that thinking through to your case studies. Like Yoda, you must be. But what if you can't come up with hard data as proof? Think testimonials. Incorporate a quote from a happy client. Maybe it is a client's project manager or facility manager. Maybe it's from an end user, or maybe from the CEO of a company, or even an elected official. Our case study formula entails 5 components: background, challenges, options, solutions, and proof. These cover the story building blocks of characters, conflict, and resolution. Project descriptions are a form of currency in our industry, but they are often just the price of admission. Our firms often need to be pre-qualified to even receive an RFP. Having story-driven case studies will instantly differentiate us from firms sharing the normal, mundane project descriptions that every other firm provides. But remember, case studies have broad uses. They are not just for project sheets or proposals. Post them on your website. Make sure your business developers and seller-doers are armed with them, because these are stories they can share with prospects and other clients. Incorporate them into project interviews, but instead of showing slide after slide of relevant experience that no one cares about, focus on one project very similar to the one you're chasing. And tell that story. Walk your prospect through that experience, but frame everything in terms of their project. Demonstrate points of similarity, how the processes you use to solve the challenges for client A will be the processes you use to solve client B's unique challenges. One final note of caution. Do not share any proprietary information about your clients. You may have a non-disclosure agreement in place limiting what you can say. And even if you don't, be sure to not betray your client's confidentiality and trust. In some instances, that may limit your case study's impact, but perhaps you can make your client generic, protecting them and still showcasing the project, although perhaps with a little less detail. But in most scenarios, you'll be able to develop a robust and interesting case study that will enthrall your audience, not appall them. I'm Scott Butcher, and I help design and construction firms improve their marketing and business development acumen through consulting, training, and facilitation. Thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.